What up, everybody? It's Raymond Inscar here with another episode of the Brew Dudes Sportscast.
Nice.
So, on tonight's episode, we were going to preview the NFC South.
Yeah.
So,
before we get into that, speaking of the NFC South, it's perfect timing because didn't you just go to the home of the Buccaneers?
not necessarily the home, but a little south of.
Didn't go see the stadium?
No, I didn't even drive by the stadium.
Wow.
I went and visited my dad, and my brother was down there,
Okay.
and our nephew Landon, he was down there too. Oh, we can't forget Adam's girlfriend Laura; she was there as well.
Yeah.
But went and visited them for a few days and had some fun. We went to the beach. We went to a Tampa Bay Rays game. That was fun. Not as exciting as the Braves, but it was still fun. And we went to the Hard Rock Casino.
Okay.
Yeah, blew some money. Neither one
Nothing
of us
big,
won.
right?
Nothing big. Nothing
Okay.
big. I stopped after a little bit.
All right, but didn't get to see the Bucs stadium.
Nope, didn't get to see the Bucs,
Okay.
and that's pretty much it. We ate at this cool restaurant, Wing House.
Mm.
That was really good.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I heard the girls dress really classy.
Yeah, real classy.
Don't tell Kate.
No, I won't tell her, even though she's going to watch this. No. But on tonight's episode, we're going to preview the NFC South, so this should be a pretty good one.
Yeah, and I talked to Ray earlier about this today. So we were going to do NFC South. The next week, we were going to do NFC North and NFC East and NFC West. But we threw in tonight, we're going to go over our list of top 10 fantasy quarterbacks at the end. And I thought, all the fantasy drafts are coming up pretty soon. So we need to actually cover all the positions like within the next week. So next week, instead of reviewing NFC North, we're going to go through the rest of the list. So our top, it's going to be all fantasy next week. So running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends.
Yes,
maybe we'll even throw defenses or whatever in there.
Defense.
And then the week
Kickers.
After that, yeah, we know certain people like Max like to draft kickers and stuff early on.
Yeah.
And then so after that, we're gonna the next week we will do the NFC North and review the Hall of Fame game.
Yep.
And then the week after that, we will combine NFC East and West.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, so let's get into the NFC South.
Who do we
preview.
have first? The Panthers.
So we're going to go, like always, start with worst record last season to best. So it'll be Carolina, who was 5-12 last season, then Atlanta, who was 7-10, New Orleans, who is 9-8, and then finish with Tampa Bay, who is 13-4.
All right.
So first up, the Panthers.
Yes, sir. What do you think about their offense?
So they added Baker Mayfield. So
Yeah.
they have Mayfield and Sam Darnold. I definitely think Baker Mayfield is a step up from Sam Darnold. I'm not saying he's some superstar, and he definitely has a lot to prove with Carolina, but I think him being in a new situation with a chip on his shoulder, I don't think he's going to do great his first year, but I do think he's going to do good, and he's going to fit in nicely.
Yeah. With Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, and Baker at quarterback, they can do a lot. At wide receiver, they have Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore.
Yep, they have their wide receivers are all pretty good. They also got Rashard Higgins, and they added Terrence Marshall from LSU. Terrence Marshall Jr.
Okay, cool. I think having Baker though on the Panthers, it could really help. I think I said this last week or the week before. It could really help DJ Moore's fantasy production.
Yeah, definitely.
And even Christian McCaffrey and the little dump offs.
Yeah, I mean, definitely he's got to be excited to have Christian McCaffrey as insurance, to have a running back like that, especially a receiving back like that.
Yep. If he stays healthy. If he stays healthy, they can be a pretty good offense.
Yeah. Tight ends, nothing special.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if you looked at their tight ends.
I don't even have one written down.
Nope, I didn't write a single one.
They had Dan Arnold last year, but we traded for him here in Jacksonville.
Yeah, so that's the weak spot, I think.
What do you think of
they did add I want to say they drafted he's a rookie, Stephen Sullivan, who's pretty good from LSU at tight end.
Okay.
But still nothing that really, I mean, he's a rookie, and I don't think he is as good or as hyped as when Kyle Pitts came out.
Right.
You
Well,
know, so he can do good, but I don't think he's going to be some superstar right off the bat.
right.
Yeah.
What did you think of their defense?
So their defense, I was looking into them. It's actually pretty hard to rate them because
Yeah.
if you look at them, so they were second in yards allowed.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at the stats,
In total yards allowed?
Yep.
Wow.
Second overall in yards allowed.
Wow.
Least second fewest yards allowed. But the thing is, they were 21st in points per game. So I know that sounds confusing, but the reason why is because they had such a sorry offense that their offense was leaving them in positions, that were basically short field
Yeah.
situations. So basically giving the other team good field position, and the defense was not allowing yards,
Right.
but they were getting scored on.
Right.
And so that's part of it. And it also says maybe their secondary isn't as good, and they were allowing a lot of big plays.
Yeah. They have C.J. Henderson. It's his second year, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know when we traded him.
They also got Damian Wilson from the Jags. at linebacker.
Also J.C. Horn. He's a second-year guy out of South Carolina, I believe. He's pretty good.
Xavier Woods at safety.
Yep. And they have Brian Burns, the guy from Florida State. I know a couple of you guys rave over these Florida State guys.
Yeah, worst in the NFL.
I mean,
that college.
They got a decent defense.
Yeah.
I don't see them doing much in the division or winning many games this year at least.
And then going back, also PFF has their offense ranked 31st.
Coming into this year?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Not their offense, sorry, offensive line.
Okay.
So Baker doesn't have the greatest protection.
Right.
So that's mediocre defense and very sorry offensive line.
I think he might have had a better offensive line in Cleveland. Did you happen to see where they were ranked last year?
No, but I mean, I know they weren't 32nd.
Yeah.
So they were obviously better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But their records.
Let's do that at the end.
Okay, at the end,
like we did last time.
Okay.
Yeah. So next up we'll do
Falcons.
The Falcons. Quarterbacks. There's a question mark there. Felipe Franks, Marcus Mariota, and then Desmond Ridder.
Yep.
So,
like you said, question mark.
Yeah.
That job could be taken by either three.
Yeah. And even if it's taken by one of those, that doesn't even necessarily mean they should be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
No.
It's just they're the best of the worst.
Yeah. The best of the worst.
Yeah. And I'm a Gator fan, so I'm not hating on Felipe completely, but I definitely don't think he's a starting NFL quarterback.
If you look at their quarterbacks and then you look at their they have running backs. They have Damian Williams,
Cordell Patterson.
Oh yeah, well yeah. I had him down as a wide receiver.
Yeah,
but yes, you could use him at a running back position too. And you got the Geronimo Allison, who came from Green Bay, Cordell Patterson, and you have Kyle Pitts. Yeah. So that's their offense in my eyes.
Wide receivers I wrote down weak. Ridley suspended for the whole season.
Yep.
Calvin Ridley was their only hope at receiver.
Yep. He had a decent year last year until he stopped playing because of mental issues.
Yep. And I guarantee you that has to do with the suspension.
Yeah.
Why he stopped playing is because he knew he was tied up in some bad stuff.
Yeah. When I looked at their defense, though, I wrote down nobody.
Yeah, I wrote down not a lot of weapons.
Yeah. I mean, you don't really have weapons on defense, do you?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about offense.
No.
My bad. No, on defense, I didn't write down anybody either. And by the way, they were 27th in yards allowed last year.
Okay.
Their defense. And their offensive line is ranked 27th going into this season.
Yeah.
So,
that's why you'll see why I have their record up.
Yeah. Very weak team, definitely. I agree with you there. The running backs and then Kyle Pitts are the only two things that are exciting about them. And if Kyle Pitts doesn't have anybody throwing the ball, then
he didn't even have a great year last year.
Right.
He might have had good fantasy points, but I don't think he scored more than 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And that's with Matt Ryan at quarterback. I can't wait till we face him here in Jacksonville. Yeah.
All right. So next up, New Orleans.
The New Orleans Saints. Jameis Winston.
And Andy Dalton. Obviously, Jameis is going to be the starter most likely. I'm sure they'll at some point throw in Andy Dalton in some plays or whatever, and we'll see if Jameis stays healthy. Jameis, I mean, I always hate on him. I think he's a mediocre quarterback. But, I mean, he showed last year that when he was in there and was healthy, I mean, he was putting up points and,
Yeah.
So I think he's shown that he can make a good fit for this, New Orleans team.
Before you got here, I was just scrolling on social media, and I come across a video of him. He's doing what every other quarterback in the NFL is doing. He's taking his young guys and going off, and they're throwing routes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he gave this little minute-long speech to these guys, and it wasn't about eating no W's or whatever. It from the looks of that video, it looked like he matured a lot over this little bit of time.
So he's taking them under his wing.
Yeah, he's taking
sort of like I do with you and the notes for this show.
Whatever, but I really think he could be really good this year, Jameis Winston.
Yep. And then I mean he has a ton of offensive weapons around him. Running backs, Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara.
That's a good 1-2 punch. I mean, Mark Ingram's a little old, but I mean
he can still pound it.
Yeah. Put him on the goal line.
Yep.
And you got wide receivers who you and I last preseason, stupid enough, preseason, we thought Marquez Callaway was going to be the go-to wide receiver.
Yep. I remember we were drafting him pretty
really early.
Yeah.
And he fell off.
Yeah.
And you got newly acquired Jarvis Landry.
Yep.
You got Chris Olave, the rookie from Ohio State, who's going to be really good. And you got Mike Thomas. I don't know if he's suspended or if he's recovering from an injury.
Yeah. And then Traquan Smith, who proved himself to be good too.
Yep. And then at tight end you have Taysom Hill.
And you have Juwan Johnson at tight end.
Yep.
So what I wrote about them is basically for tight ends, I wrote that they're versatile because you have Taysom Hill, who they do those trick plays with, and do the quarterback. And then you have Juwan Johnson, who's just your normal tight end, big, the blocking and normal receiving tight end.
And their defense.
But
before we get started on defense, though, let's finish talking about the offense, though. With all that talent they have on there, they have a really good shot at competing for the NFC South.
Yeah.
Their division.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
They got a lot of talent.
And their offensive line is ranked 18th, so middle of the pack. Not the best, but not the worst.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Have you seen anything on Kamara being suspended for him getting in that fight or whatever from the Pro Bowl?
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
I just thought of that.
No, I think he's good for now.
Yeah. Their defense, Cameron Jordan.
Yeah, I wrote down Cameron Jordan. I also wrote down Marshawn Lattimore. And then remember when we were asking about the Honey Badger and we were trying to figure out where he went?
He's on the Saints.
He's on the Saints.
Yep.
You
got Bradley Roby, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You got and Marcus May.
Yeah, so
boys right
I actually was on this. I was reading this article on Sportsnot, and I made a note to look at this picture when we're talking about their defense and all. So it says right here, this is an article talking about their defense. It says the Saints front seven is one of the best NFL, and expectations are high at cornerback with Marshawn Lattimore, Paulson Adebo, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. When looking for red flags, though, losing deep safety Marcus Williams could result in the Saints allowing more deep shots in 2022. But they have high hopes on basically the DBs for the Saints. And then also another thing about their defense, it was talking about Tom Brady and the Buccaneers and how they owned him, and they're the only team to shut down Tom Brady in the season. But it said he's not the only one who struggled against New Orleans. So the Saints allowed the fourth lowest average quarterback rating, 81.7, and and allowed the third lowest touchdown rate, 3.4%.
Okay.
So, and then their run defense, opponents couldn't do anything on the ground. They averaged the lowest yards per rush, 3.7 yards in the NFL per carry.
The Saints about their defense, they've always seemed to have a decent defense,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, always kept them in games. Last year, they weren't really satisfied with Jameis or Taysom at quarterback.
Right.
I don't know, or Jameis might have been hurt. I don't really
He
remember.
had health problems last year.
But I mean, their defense always kept them in games, and then in those big games against the Bucs, they always show up.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
I seem to be missing one of my notes, but my notepads. But oh well.
All right, we'll move on to the Bucs.
Yeah,
to Tampa Bay.
On to the Bucs.
Do you at least have notes for the Buccaneers?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm missing. So I'll try to remember what I had written down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But no, let's Bucs. Tom Brady coming back out of retirement.
Yep, the GOAT.
Funny story. I don't know, not really funny story about Tom Brady, but I don't know if you heard about it or if any of you guys heard about it. Tom Brady retired, and there was rumor that come out that said he was going to join some part of Miami's staff or whatever, or take part owner in it or something like that, and then eventually become their quarterback.
Huh.
I don't know. You didn't hear about that?
No, I didn't.
No, but yeah, that was the whole plan. He was going to retire, go to Miami, do some stuff with them, and eventually become their quarterback. And before all this stuff with Brian Flores come out with all his complaining or about interviews and stuff, Sean Payton, former coach of the Saints, was supposed to come over and be the Dolphins' new head coach. Yeah, so they would have had Sean Payton and Tom Brady.
Dang.
Yeah,
that would have been
at Miami with Tyreek Hill. Well, I don't know about that, but
right.
Yeah.
Now, doesn't that go along with Gronk as well?
No, Gronk.
What's happening with the rumor that his girlfriend was?
Oh yeah, he officially retired. I want to say on June 22nd. He come out and said, "No, I'm done with football. No more." Kind of hot in here, isn't it? But yeah, he's done. And his girlfriend come out the other day and said that she doesn't think he's done, but I mean, who knows?
But it's his second time retiring. See, this is what we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
Like, I feel like when a player retires, especially twice, I don't know if there's a rule against it or not, but I feel like when a player retires, they shouldn't be allowed to come back because that's all it's setting up for is if a player doesn't like his team, then he can just retire and then down the road come back from retirement and go to the team he really wants to.
Yep.
Like, get picked up by the team he really wants.
I wonder if that's like, this has nothing to do with retirement or whatever, but Tom Brady and, Bruce Arians isn't the Bucs head coach anymore. It's Bowles. I don't know his first name, Todd Bowles, the former Jets head coach.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just wonder if Tom Brady's going to regret retiring. What the heck? If he's going to regret retiring or whatever.
I just want to clear up that you were brushing dust away from your face and
dust.
you weren't waving around like saying I farted or something. I just want to put that out
it was
there.
just dust. It was just dust. But yeah. So we've covered Tom Brady, Gronkowski.
Yep.
And,
running backs.
Yep.
Solid running backs, Leonard Fournette, and they lost Ronald Jones II, but they got
Chiefs, I think.
Yeah, but they got Giovanni Bernard.
Yep, from the Bengals.
So
right?
I think that's a pretty good trade.
I
think that's pretty even.
It's pretty even, but look at Fournette. The man signs a 3-year, $24 or $21 million contract earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
Then goes off and gains 30 pounds. The man ended the season last year at 228 pounds. Now he weighs 260 pounds showing up to camp.
Yeah.
His coaches aren't pleased.
No.
So,
dude obviously just didn't work out during the offseason.
Oh, he worked out by eating.
Yeah.
I was reading some of his contract stuff on his deal. If the things don't work out with him, they can get rid of him after 1 year.
Now, wasn't he the one that last season was supposed to be working on or getting better at being a quicker running back, more elusive? Was that him?
I don't know, dude. You're talking about 32 other teams.
Yeah, I just feel like going into last season, they were talking about how he was becoming more of an elusive back and not just the power. But I mean, if he put on 30 pounds, like then it seems like he's trending in the opposite direction.
He's going Eddie Lacy's way.
Yeah.
Eddie Lacy, and was a beast. And then he just started eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their wide receivers. You got Mike Evans, Russell Gage, Chris Godwin. You got Scotty Miller and
John Brown.
Yep. They got so much talent on offense.
Yeah, that tight end Cameron Brate, good. What I said is, can he be the man without Gronk? Because him and Gronk were splitting work. So when it's just on Cameron Brate, and they lost O.J. Howard.
Yeah.
They had O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, and Gronk. Now it's just Cameron Brate. Can he be the man by himself? There's other tight ends I know, but none of them stand out to me like him.
If Brady can share the ball, I think Brate can get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely in the red zone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not Gronk in the red zone where he can just throw it and Gronk's there because Gronk is so big bodied, But
right.
I mean, I think he can get the job done.
Yeah. And I mean, by the way, their O-line is ranked second going into the season.
Yeah. What's that dude's name? I don't know that dude's name, but if you've ever watched them, he's got long red curly hair. Dude just bullies players, man. If you watch him, he's just shoving them and just like it's insane.
Yep. Defense.
Nobody really. I mean, 3 players stood out to me.
Yeah. So their defense reminds me of the Patriots' offense. They're one and the same. Where there's no superstars that stand out to you, but they're freaking solid and are going to get the job done. It's exactly the Patriots offense. There's nobody no superstar receivers or anything, but they're always good. Just like the Tampa Bay's defense, nobody really stood out to me, but they're going to get the job done.
Yeah.
And last year they were so basically their Sportsnot had them as the 4th best defense going into this season.
The Bucks, yeah.
And they were 13th in yards allowed last year. Their run defense was unstoppable. They fell apart in the last 8 games of the season, allowing 4.9 yards per carry on the last 8 games. But that was because they had a lot of injuries and stuff. And actually, there's another thing. So,
what is it?
Shit.
You lost it?
I thought I had a picture saved as well for the Buccaneers.
Oh my goodness. We've lost our notes on the Bucks.
Anyways, what it explained is basically what I just said, that they fell apart the last 8 games of the season, but it was because they had a lot of injuries on defense. And that it said their run defense, that's what it was saying. It was saying that you did not want to run the ball against them.
No, they're so big bodied on the defensive line. They've got I want to say Vita Vea. I don't know if that name rings a bell for you, but they're just so big bodied. If you look at their linebacking core, you got Shaq Barrett, Devin White, and Levante David.
Shaq Barrett's the one that I did make. I didn't write it down, but I made a note of Shaq Barrett.
I mean, I don't know much about their DBs, but their linebacking core, I understand why they can stop the run.
Yeah.
But
yep.
So we just finished the Bucks, so now we're gonna do top 10 fantasy QBs or
no, we're gonna do our
records.
How they're gonna do.
Yeah. All right.
So first up is Carolina.
What'd you have them going?
So I had them going 5-12, 2-4 in the division. Their 2 wins are both against Atlanta.
What? Funny. I had them going 6-11, 2-4 in the division, and both wins against Atlanta.
6-11 and 5-12. Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty close.
Pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I want to see what you have for Atlanta.
Atlanta, I have them going 3-14.
Really?
And 0-6 in the division.
We're pretty close on that one too. I have Atlanta going 2-15, 0-6 in the division.
Okay. I think I snuck in there one extra win where I was like, they're going to upset the Seahawks or somebody. There was somebody that I was like, I gave Atlanta another win.
I think I was like being generous.
I was iffy about.
Yeah.
I had an upset in there. All right, next up, New Orleans. I think you're going to have. You're probably going to differ from me on this.
Maybe.
So I have them going 10-7 and 5-1 in the division. They're one loss to Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay.
Man, this is funny. I have the Saints going 9-8, 1 game difference, going 5-1 in the division, losing their one loss to Tampa Bay.
Nice.
At Tampa Bay. Yeah.
All right, Tampa Bay. So I have them going 14-3 and 5-1 in the division, one loss in New
To
Orleans.
the Saints. I have Tampa going 13-4,
Wow.
5-1 in the division, losing to the Saints and New Orleans.
So I just want to point out that your Tampa and New Orleans, you have them doing the same record as last year.
I do.
Tampa was 13-4 last year, and New Orleans was 9-8.
Okay, Tampa was 13-4 last year, but I will tell you this: they will get by the Rams this year.
Yeah,
The Rams will not repeat.
that's cool. So we're pretty close. We're pretty spot on for this division.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
So our standings, both of us have Tampa Bay, New
Yep.
Orleans, Carolina, and Atlanta.
Yep,
All right,
that was good.
nice.
On to fantasy.
Yeah, so I got to pull up my notes on my phone for this one.
Yeah.
All right, so for the fantasy segment, we're going to go over basically who each of us think are the top 10 will be the top 10 fantasy quarterbacks this season.
So you fantasy football players out there, get a pen and paper, make some notes.
Yeah, and I mean, we already know that my fantasy league, half these dudes are probably going to draft these guys in the second round.
Yeah. Well,
So,
yeah.
all right, so how do we want to do this? We each want to go through our list, like,
I think we go number by number. Like you go 1, I go 1, you go 2, I go 2.
and then sort of explain as we go why
Yeah.
that person is there. Maybe if
Mhm.
we agree, then it's fine. If not, then we explain why.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Number 1, who do you have?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. I have Josh Allen as well.
Yep.
Okay.
He 402 fantasy points last year, and I have him doing really well this time.
The
All right,
same or more? Did you write
I
down
did not
numbers?
predict if he was going to do more of the same projections and points. Like even those experts on fantasy, those are never right.
Yeah.
I predict whether they're going to do better or worse, but not like I'm not going to throw a number out there.
Yeah.
Number 2,
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
I feel like this is his 3rd year. Is this his 3rd year or 2nd year? We got to get with our freaking.
He wasn't a rookie last year.
Okay, so this is his 3rd year then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just feel like he's ready. He'll get up there in points.
Yeah. He had 380 fantasy points last year, and he was also ranked number 2 as far as fantasy points last year, quarterback.
Really? Okay.
Yep. Number 3,
Who do you have at number 3?
I have Matthew Stafford.
Really?
Which I know you don't.
I went over this multiple times this week, and
I already see who you have.
Yeah, and let's just say I had Matthew Stafford at 3 earlier in the week, just kind of brushing through it really quick,
Mm-hmm.
After doing a little bit of thinking, I have Patrick Mahomes at number 3.
Okay.
Why? Why do I have Patrick Mahomes at number 3? Because he's a mobile quarterback.
Okay.
You
Patrick Mahomes put up 361 points last year.
okay? How many did Stafford put up last year?
Matthew Stafford put up 329, and he was ranked number 7. So I have him moving up
From 7 to
from
3.
7 to 3.
Yeah.
The thing with Mahomes is he lost Tyreek Hill. He still has Travis Kelce and some solid receivers.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other quarterbacks that definitely are above him.
How many times do you see Patrick Mahomes running in the red zone with the ball, doing a bootleg out to the right, or always to the left? He always runs to the left.
You also, the reason I moved Stafford up as well is it was his first year with the Rams last year.
Yeah, I understand.
Now they're clicking.
Yeah, I understand that.
Now the thing about the running thing, when I go over my number 4 quarterback, I'll explain why I have them over Mahomes.
Okay. But basically, I just put Patrick Mahomes up there because he's a running quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And in the red zone, I asked you this earlier, in your fantasy league, you get 6 points per rushing touchdown, correct?
which is the same as if you pass it.
Oh, it is? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was like 4 for passing.
You get a touchdown. Passing is 6.
Okay. Well, in some leagues, passing is 4, passing is 4, and rushing is 6 in some leagues. It all depends on the league, I guess. So,
I mean, you might want to check your own league too, because
my league is the same as your league.
okay,
So,
so
who do you have at number 4?
hold on, let me just make sure this is correct on that. Passing, no, you're right. Passing touchdown is 4. All right,
What am I?
Ray.
Oh, okay.
All right, so number 4, I have Tom Brady.
Tom Brady at number 4?
Yeah. You have Lamar Jackson, which I don't even agree with, but
Can you tell me why you don't agree with?
So first of all, Tom Brady put up 374 fantasy points last year.
Yeah.
Mahomes put up 361. All right, they're both the same skill, same quarterbacks, basically have the same teams. They've lost a couple of key players, but I feel like Tom Brady is still going to do the thing. Just because Mahomes runs more doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get more points than Tom Brady fantasy-wise.
Tom Brady, new head coach, same offensive coordinator.
Head coaches do not matter to
I
guys
know
like
that.
Tom
As soon
Brady.
as I said offensive coordinator, I knew that Tom Brady.
That's like
Tom
saying,
Brady is the head coach.
Exactly.
Okay?
That's like saying that about Aaron Rodgers. Like,
Yeah, he only came back so he could, because he had some say in some stuff.
yeah.
But like you said, I have Lamar at number 4 because he's a rushing quarterback. I feel like rushing quarterbacks deserve a spot higher than.
And how many points did Lamar get last year?
On my sheet, he had 252. What do you have? We looked at different websites.
I don't even have him on my sheet because he's not even in my top 15.
Oh.
I'll tell you right now, off of fantasy, since you decided not to write down the number. Did you get that 252 from fantasy, from ESPN?
No, it was from a different website.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
All right. Well, here's Lamar Jackson right here. So last year, this is why I didn't pick him, and of course you don't have Wi-Fi. Anyways, I can't see his numbers, but even if it was 252, that doesn't even make the top 12 quarterbacks as far as points. And what was he last year? Was he not a running quarterback last year?
He's a running quarterback every year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying from 252 to jump to number 4, where we're talking about guys that are putting up 370 points. 100 points more because he's a running quarterback when he was a running quarterback the previous year. So I don't see him doing 100 points more in fantasy.
All right. You got me on the number 4 spot then. You got Tom Brady at number 4. I have Lamar Jackson at number 4.
All right. What about number 5?
Number 5.
I have Patrick Mahomes.
So you put Patrick at number 5.
Yeah, and by the way, he was number 4, so he just moved down one spot in my list.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I have Kyler Murray. Do you have Murray on your list?
Well, he's later on.
Yeah.
I have him. I have him. But Murray put up 300 points last year, so it's my same reasoning with Lamar Jackson. I have Mahomes at number 5, putting up 360 points.
At number 5.
You have Murray at number 5, putting up 300 points last year. So once again, you put him up there because he's a running quarterback. Yeah. But that doesn't matter if he's not going to put up enough points to be that high. A guy at number 5, I still have like 3 other guys on my list that put up more points than Kyler Murray last year.
Okay, well, see, we're two different people having 2 different opinions.
So we know that if you follow Ray's strategy, you're going to be drafting just quarterbacks looking for guys that are running quarterbacks.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that's your strategy,
whatever.
Right? If they're a running quarterback, you view them as more valuable because they can get the 6 points versus the 4.
Yeah, but if you think about it in the long run, 2 points is not that big of a difference. But yeah, let's continue.
All right.
Always putting me on the spot or whatever.
All right, number 6.
I
have Aaron Rodgers.
You have Aaron Rodgers. Oh boy. At number 6, I'm finally getting to the passing quarterbacks. I have Matthew Stafford at number 6.
Okay. Well, according to your strategy, I won't argue with that he should be above Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I'll agree with you that
you said you had Aaron Rodgers at 6?
Yeah, he had 333 points last year. He lost Devontae Adams, and that's a big loss.
He also lost Geronimo Allison. That's 2 wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So he has Randall Cobb, who's been in the league 100 years. He has the dude that used to play for the Jags, number 13 for the Packers. I don't know his
Alan
Lazard,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know anybody else.
He has Tanyan.
No, he's coming off from torn ACL. I had him at tight end last year.
He has Aaron Jones,
who he probably throws it to a couple times, but I don't see him at number 6 like you have him.
So he got 333 points last year.
Okay.
How far do you think he's going to fall? How many points without Devontae Adams? You're talking about he's going to fall 100 points in fantasy?
I wouldn't say it. Dude, I don't know. I don't think Green Bay's going to be as good as they were last year.
Oh, I definitely know they're not going to be as good. But I feel comfortable
I
feel comfortable with having him above my other quarterbacks that I'm about to list at number 6.
He's Aaron Rodgers. He's the 2-time back-to-back MVP.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I know somebody that's about to throw money on him again in Vegas to go for MVP again, which I don't agree with.
Who's that? Do you know? Or can you
buddy
say?
Oh. Yeah, it's nobody you know.
Oh, okay.
It's a friend of a friend.
A friend of a friend. Got you.
All right, so let's move on to number 7.
Yeah, who do you have at 7?
Dak Prescott. He put up 320 points last year. He only lost Amari Cooper.
Right.
He's still got CeeDee Lamb, and he's still got a couple of other good receivers. Amari Cooper is a big hit, but it's not big enough to make him drop too much, I don't think.
I have
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady at number 7. And you had him where?
Number 4.
Number 4.
So you have the GOAT at number 7.
Yeah.
Damn.
And, when I put him at number 7, my first notes that I made, I had him at number 5. I knocked him down twice, 2 spots. But when I put him at number 7, I wrote him down. And then I was like, okay, well, let me look at his roster. He hasn't lost anybody. Just Gronk.
And Gronk's not even that big of a factor anymore.
So I still think he's at number 7.
So he was at ranked number 4 out of quarterbacks last season.
Okay, do you know what he averaged? Or how many points he put up?
Yeah, 374 points.
Okay.
So you have him at number 7, where I'm ranking guys that put up 320 points.
Do 374 divided by 16 real quick on your phone.
Okay.
And see what that average is.
That's not going to matter when other guys are getting less than that. It's 23.4.
Yeah. Okay, you got me there. That's
good quarterback.
That
points.
is good.
That's numbers.
Yes, that's solid.
I mean, we'll see. At least our listeners know going into when we go running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, that they'll maybe listen to me a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We'll see when the draft comes at the end of the month who does better at the end of the fantasy season.
Yeah. Who actually listens to us and then yeah.
All right. What about number 8?
I have who you have at number 7, Dak Prescott.
Okay, I'm fine with that. That's one spot down from where he was ranked at the end of the season. He was number 7 quarterback overall.
Okay.
He lost Amari Cooper, so I'm fine with that. I have Jalen Hurts
at number 8.
Mm-hmm. So he put up 312 points last year.
Mm-hmm.
I have him. He added AJ Brown. He also split work last year. Okay.
With the great Gardner Minshew.
Yes, but so that's another thing to think about.
Yeah.
This year he's probably going to be the man the whole year. Okay. So I have him jumping up from number 9. I actually have him jumping Joe Burrow.
Really?
Him and Joe Burrow, even with him splitting work, we're only 2 points difference in fantasy.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts is one of your guys that you like, your running guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my running guys.
So,
but I don't even have Jalen on my list.
No?
I don't.
He was ranked number 8 in fantasy quarterbacks last year. Or number 9, sorry. I had him moving up one spot.
How many points did he have?
312.
Nobody would have thought that. Nobody would have thought that. It's
I
Jalen
know.
Hurts, and it's
I didn't think it
Philly
either
Eagles.
until I was doing research for this,
Yeah.
and I saw that he was ranked.
You were doing research? I thought we had a research team.
Well, yeah, I was
helping.
I was helping.
Oh, okay.
They didn't do so well last week, so I was trying to give them some pointers.
Mm-hmm.
All
right. But why I don't have Jalen on my top 10? Because of last year. I don't know how much Gardner's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's second-year head coach for
Yeah.
them. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Maybe next year he'll be on my top 10.
And you had Dak on your 8.
Yeah, I had Dak on number 8.
All right, what about number 9?
Oh, the 2-time MVP discount double check Aaron Rodgers at number
Dang.
9.
All the way down from number 6.
Yep. And you know why?
Devontae Adams.
And
I will say, out of all these I picked, if there's one that I'm really not confident in that I think you are right about, that you're like, I told you so, it might be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You might be right on that. The rest of these I agree with. But Aaron Rodgers, I think you might be right. He does deserve to fall.
I don't see.
So at
Green Bay might win 10 games.
My number 9, I have Joe Burrow.
Number 9, you have Burrow.
He put up 314 points last year. I think after that loss to Kansas City, that team's going to be fired up. They haven't really lost much as far as players go.
Hold on a second. Lost to Kansas City.
Yeah. Didn't
They beat Kansas City twice last year.
No, in the playoffs.
They beat.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. Where have you been? They lost to the Rams in the Super Bowl.
That's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
This guy, guys.
All right, we'll edit that out. We don't edit anything around here.
Are we on number 9? Yeah. Yeah, we're still on number 9.
Yeah. So yeah. I put Joe Burrow. He put up 314 points last year. So I had him falling one spot. I had Jalen Hurts jumping him.
Okay. I don't see that happening. Even I don't have Joe Burrow.
Well, you don't see that happening, but you had him drop 2 spots.
Okay. Yeah. I have Joe Burrow at number 10.
Yes.
I mean, he had a great year last year, but it's just like their whole team. They still have a lot to prove.
So I have
who do you have at 10?
Your boy way down from your spot. I have Kyla Marriott at number 10.
Yeah.
He put up 300 points last year. He added Marquise Brown, and he lost Christian Kirk. I think that's basically an even trade.
It could be, but I wish we saw more out of Marquise Brown.
I think we will see more with him and Murray.
Well, yeah.
But I had him. He was actually the 10th ranked quarterback last year as far as fantasy points, and I had him staying right at 10.
Yeah.
So there's a couple French quarterbacks I want to mention that I almost had jumping him.
Okay, who?
First of all, it was Derek Carr. With the addition of Devontae Adams, I had him moving up to number 11 from 12. And then right in there at number 12, I had Kirk Cousins. And then at Adams' favorite on a fringe quarterback, possibly in my top 10 that I didn't include, which your brother will argue with, Russell Wilson. Which I don't know why he's going to even argue that he should be a top 10 fantasy quarterback. He's a great quarterback, but he put up 242 points last year. That's nowhere near a top 10 in fantasy points.
He was hurt last year.
Still.
He missed a few games.
Yeah.
So, but I can understand why you have Russell at 13. He first year on his new team, you know, I mean, he's not gonna build chemistry over the summer just like that. I mean,
yeah.
Give him 1 year and then he might be a top 10 next year. We'll come back to this next year.
Oh, and I just want to mention, because you decided to listen to my comments bashing you the first time you made your list. Thank you for taking my advice and not including Mac Jones in your top 10.
Whatever.
He originally had Mac Jones in his top 10 fantasy quarterback.
Dude, he's from Jacksonville, you know? I mean,
I'll admit he's a good quarterback and he's going to be a great NFL quarterback, but there's a difference when you're talking about fantasy points and being a good quarterback that leads your team to victory.
I know.
He's not there yet as far as fantasy to make that top 10 list.
Not fantasy, no.
Yeah.
That's why I took him out.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
That was just my rough draft I had him in.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, but I think that covers everything with the NFC South and top 10 fantasy quarterbacks this week.
Yeah. So like we said, next week we'll be previewing, we'll be going over our top 10 players or fantasy players for running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends.
Tight ends. Yep. Yep, and that'll probably be on Monday night.
Yes.
So this will go live either Monday night really late or Tuesday morning. So, yeah. But I think that's all the time we have for tonight's episode. I'm Raymond.
And I'm Scar. This is the Brew Dudes Sportscast.
Until next time.
Keep it brewing.